Hello. This is my review, my overall thoughts, what I thought the pros and cons, what I thought the positives were for Ahsoka, the 2023 series starring Rosario Dawson and Lars Mikkelsen, and as well as a good few other characters. I want to talk about how I liked Rosario Dawson as Ahsoka. Her introduction in The Mandalorian Season 2 was superb in my opinion. We get to see her in the Book of Boba Fett for one episode. They were both great cameos. I really liked them. I really liked her appearance in those episodes. I really liked those episodes overall. Rosario Dawson, in my opinion, she was great. I thought I like Ashley Eckstein, and I think she's solid in this series. I think she did a good job at playing this wiser, older version of Ahsoka Tano. I've seen the Clone Wars, I've seen Star Wars Rebels, and I think Rosario Dawson does a solid job of portraying the older version of Ahsoka Tano. I also want to point out that I really liked her robe. I thought that was just pretty cool. It was obviously, if I had to speculate, that was obviously influenced by Gandalf. If I had to guess, that was influenced by to some extent by Gandalf the White. I feel like her robe took a bit of inspiration from that, and I thought it was solid. I want to talk about also Thrawn. Thrawn, played by Lars Mikkelsen. He voices the character in Star Wars Rebels, and I think his voice is fantastic for the character of Thrawn. I didn't quite pinpoint, for me personally, maybe I just missed it, but I didn't quite hear the Thrawn theme song that we got in Star Wars Rebels, which I think could have been used here at some point in this show. And I feel like that was just great, by the way. I think that the music that the composer produced for Star Wars Rebels when Thrawn was on screen was fantastic. I don't recall it in this series. Maybe I just missed it. Hopefully, I'm planning on giving this show a rewatch, but I think Lars Mikkelsen's voice and the way that Thrawn looked was solid. I really liked him. I really liked him in this role. I thought he was also one of the big positives. I liked Hera Syndulla and Sabine. I thought they were pretty cool. Great seeing them jump from Star Wars Rebels to live action. Seeing like Ezra Bridger, seeing where he ended up after the ending in Star Wars Rebels. Obviously, I might as well just point this out. This show is more understandable if you've watched Star Wars Rebels, the animated series. I don't know if I would say that you absolutely have to watch it, but I personally would recommend that you would watch it. I would say that you should watch Star Wars Rebels before jumping into Ahsoka, but it's 4 seasons long and there's a good few episodes in each season. So if you want to just jump into this series without watching Star Wars Rebels, that would be fine. More power to you. But I think you would have better understanding of what's happening if you had watched Star Wars Rebels. Ezra Bridger, I know I just briefly interrupted myself there. Ezra Bridger, I thought he was pretty cool. He was sort of like a Messiah-like figure in my opinion. I think with the beard. We get to see where he ended up after what happened with the Purgles. Seeing Chopper, and then obviously at the end, we get to see Ezra Bridger and Chopper reunite in front of Hera. That was pretty cool. I thought Morgan Elsbeth, if I'm pronouncing that correct, I think I got her name right, the woman from Mandalorian Season 2 that fights Ahsoka, and Ahsoka says to her, "Where is Grand Admiral Thrawn?" She appears in this series, and I thought she was solid. Her ending was quite interesting with the Night Sisters blade, the Night Sisters from Dathomir. That was pretty interesting. That was a pretty cool weapon. I thought the Night Sisters, they were great. I liked them in Star Wars. I liked them in Star Wars Clone Wars. Great seeing them jump into live action. I thought the flashback with Anakin Skywalker, the Clone Wars, that was pretty. I thought Hayden Christensen. I liked him in that role in the prequel trilogy. I think we got to see him in a holographic form. We get to see him at the end with his ghost, like at the end of Return of the Jedi. We get to see the flashback. The flashback for me stands out more than the other two that I've already mentioned. I feel like I'm forgetting one recently when Hayden Christensen was in Obi-Wan Kenobi. I forgot for a second there. He had a cameo. He had more than a cameo. He was a supporting character in Kenobi. I thought he was all right. I liked him in the prequel trilogy. I like the scenes with Balin and his apprentice, Balin Skull in Shin Hati. I feel like I feel like I'm going to pronounce that incorrectly, sorry. I thought their scenes were solid. I liked Balin Skull. I thought he gave me a Count Dooku vibe. I feel like he was giving off a pretty strong Count Dooku vibe. He was maybe he was more in the camp of Count Dooku, I would say, than Plo Koon, Mace Windu, more than Yoda, more than Kenobi, more than forgetting the name of the Jedi with the green dreadlocks. I'm forgetting his name, which is gonna annoy me. I like the final scene with Balin Skull, where he's on the big statue that was obviously inspired by Lord of the Rings, I imagine. Lord of the Rings, the Fellowship, when they're going in between the two statues and they both got hands held up. You also see a big statue in Game of Thrones when they approach the Iron Bank of Bravos, if my memory serves me correctly. I haven't watched Game of Thrones in a couple of years, but Iron Bank of Bravos. There's a huge statue there as well. You see this statue in you see this statue that the final episode, you see Balin Scroll on with all by himself. You obviously also see a statue on in Rogue One on Jeddah. You see it toppled. That was pretty cool. I thought the scenes with David Tennant as Hyang, forgive me if I'm butchering that again, Hyuang. David Tennant voices the droid. I thought that was pretty cool. I like David Tennant as Doctor Who. I liked him in... Well, I thought he was alright. He was alright in Goblet of Fire. In the Harry Potter film from 2005. He was alright in that film. I would also say that I liked Hera and the scenes with her son. You see when Ahsoka goes into the world between worlds. Hera's son, Jason, also the son of Kanan Jarrus. That was pretty cool how he was able to sense, how he was able to hear what was going on, sort of, because he's force sensitive. I thought that was kind of cool. I thought the world between worlds, once again, it's a spoiler for Star Wars Rebels, but the world between worlds was introduced in Star Wars Rebels, and we get to see more of it here. I thought that was pretty cool. I know I've already mentioned that, but I think that is a pretty cool part of Star Wars. And I would also like to talk about the fact that the Purrgil that we get to see at the end of Star Wars Rebels and we get to see here, I just like them. I suppose maybe that's because I'm quite a big fan of whales. I like whales. Part of me always wants. I want to go and see. I would love to see a whale in person at some point. That's something that I think there was obviously a combination of a whale and a squid, or an octopus, if you will, or a combination of all three. Giant squid, whale combination. Obviously, the whale for the front. Obviously, I think Mon Mothma. Here's another positive. Mon Mothma was played by the actress who played her originally in the Revenge of the Sith deleted scene, Rogue One. We get to see her in Andor, and then we get to see her in this series. I know someone might complain that, well, the actress that plays Mon Mothma, I'm forgetting her name, the actress that plays Mon Mothma in Rogue One, Andor, and I think she might have had a cameo in Kenobi, perhaps, but maybe not. Don't think so. I don't think she did. Mon Mothma was played by a different actress in Return of the Jedi. We get to see this actress that we get in Ahsoka plays her in Rogue One, in Andor, and then we get to see her play the same character after Return of the Jedi. And I know what some people might say is that, well, how does that work if a different actress played her in Return of the Jedi and then they go back to the same actress after Return of the Jedi, which is obviously two different time periods? So they're basically saying she gets older before Return of the Jedi, then she gets younger after Return of the Jedi. And what I'd say to that is the actress who plays Mon Mothma does a pretty good job of resembling the original actress from Return of the Jedi. I don't know her name either. She resembles her quite a bit. Her mannerisms are basically spot on. Physically speaking, she does have the same stature, the same build. I imagine they're about the same height. Similar hair. She pulls off the hair, and her face does resemble the original actress from Return of the Jedi. And so for me, I would say it is obviously a little bit strange, but the fact that they pull it off is, the fact that they've got someone who is a good actress who is able to do this role is enough of a positive. I'm more than happy with it to end it there. And I want to say Ray Stevenson died at the age of 58, so I don't know how they'll continue into Ahsoka Series 2, but I'm excited to see what happens next. I thought this show was I would say I really enjoyed this show. Thanks for watching.